Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to solve Advent of Code day 11 problem, which is monkey in the middle. But before solving it, if you have not already subscribed my channel, then please do. It really helps me keep motivated to make new videos. So currently I have 505 subscriber and I am not seeing much improvement in the subscriber count. So please do subscribe. Now let's move to the problem. So in this problem you will be given a set of instruction and you have to perform some operation based on that instruction. So here it is saying that there are lots of monkeys and monkeys have initial items present, and monkey will perform that operation, one operation on the particular item, and multiply it by divide it by 3. If that result is divisible by 23, then it will throw that item, that result, to the monkey number 2. Otherwise it will throw that number to monkey number 3. So this type of operation you have to perform, and this operation you have to perform a number of times. Like you will be given an iteration, like how many iteration you have to perform these operations, and that we have to do. So for example, if you take, here if you take 79, then 79 will get popped from the starting items of monkey number 0, and what it will do, it will perform this operation. So new value will be 79 into 19. It will be approximately 1501 or something. Now what it will do, it will divide it by 3, so it will get 500. Now it will check if 500 is divisible by 23. So of course it is not divisible by 23, so it will throw that true. If this is not divisible by 23, then it will throw that item to monkey number 3, which is written here. So now 500 will be appended to monkey number 3 items. So at the end, if you see, so here it will get 500. Okay, so that is doing for the part 1 problem. Part 2 is also similar, but we will see how we are going to handle part 2 problem. So let me just walk you through my code. So my code is very big but easy to understand. So here I have defined few classes. So as I have told you, like the operation class, I have defined operation, so it will have particular sign and a value. Okay, now what we are doing, so I have defined monkey class. So monkey class, I have written id. This is not necessary, but this all are necessary. So items, so item will be a dq, because what I've told you, when monkey pick any item to perform this operation, it will get removed from the item list. Okay, so that's why we will take this as a dq, and when monkey pick any item, then we will apply dq dot pop left, and this item will get removed from the items. Okay, and the second one is operation. So operation is this line, new operation. So we will store operation here. So basically that is for that we have defined one class, and test is this line. So either it is divisible by 23 or whatever is given to test our result. Okay, then test and action. So action is this one, true action, false action. Okay, so we have defined action and we have initialized it initially. Now let's move to the parse input file. So for parse input, we have defined first we have defined the monkey as an array, because we have 1 2 3 4 4 monkeys. So we will be storing individual monkey into the array. Okay, so monkey object into the array. So we will storing this object into this monkey array. Okay, now we have initially we are taking monkey as one object and initially pointing it to null object and taking id. So this is not actually necessary because we are not using it anywhere, but I have just kept it for just to keep track what is the current id number, but we can get that by array index also, so that is fine. Now let's open the file input file and read every line. Now I'm reading the first line and I'm checking if it is starting from the monkey. If it is starting from the monkey, then initialize the empty object here. If you see, I have incremented id and initialize the empty object, monkey object. Now initialize the total value as well because we have to count the total value. So if you check what is it is asking, like it is asking us to perform the 20 operation. So it is asking us perform the 20 of this operation and find out the what is the maximum number of time one monkey has inspected items. Okay, so maximum number of times, total number of times each monkey inspected items, and we have to find out the two of those monkeys who has inspected more number of items and multiply it together and show it as an output. So that we have to do for the first part. So that's why we have kept total and initially initialize it to 0 to keep track of the number of times monkey has inspected items. And this one is an action actually. So action, I have told it is true action, false action. So that we have initialized as an array. Now I'm writing this as starting items. So if you see the next line, it is a starting items here, right? So if it is a starting items, then we have to append this a list into the DQ. So if you see code, so current item, just I'm splitting it by colon and getting this thing 7998 and appending it to the DQ here. Same thing we are doing for the operation. So if it is operation, then we are splitting it by equal to, and we are appending this one into the, we are again parsing that operation. So in operation we have either plus sign or asterisk sign, means multiplication sign. So we are defining one operator, and operands we will get old value, then some number, or either old value or a number, both means combination of both we can get. So if it is starting from plus, then we are marking operator as plus, but operand we are just splitting with the plus and are storing it into the operands. Okay, so that we are doing here, and we are pushing that, we are creating object of that class. So as I have told here, we have defined ops, so we are just assigning operator and value. Now let's move to the test part. So here in test we will check if it is divisible by 23. So test is actually almost same for everyone. So it only check if it is divisible by something, some number. So if you see, it only checks if it is divisible by some number. Okay, so we are just splitting it by a space and just taking the last value. So last value is of course a number, and we are storing that into the test array. Okay, we are assigning that as a test. Now if you check if it is true, then we are again splitting that with the space and taking the last value, which is integer value. Same for the false condition, and appending that into the action. So action 0th index will be true value and 1 index will be the false value, remember that. And if we are getting the end of line So at that time we are appending that object, monkey object, into monkeys array and returning it. So if you check, to work this code I have to add two spaces, right? I have to add two spaces, then only this code will work. Okay, now let's move to the, so the parsing of input was quite simple if you check the input, because we are just performing whatever is given in the input. So for monkey I'm just initializing object, a starting point, I'm taking a DQ and putting these items into the DQ operation. I'm just separating the current operator and operands. Then divisible by, I'm just taking the last integer value and storing them respectively. Okay, so parsing input is quite easy to understand. Although this code is very long, but you can simply understand and translate it into the another language if you want also. So that is also possible. Now let's move to the solve function. I will get back to this function, but this function is quite simple. Like here I'm just taking sign, old value, new value. If sign is plus, then I'm just adding these both two value, like old plus new. If it is asterisk, then I'm multiplying it, the both value, means old and new value. So this function is quite simple to understand. Now let's move to the solve function. So here if you see, I have taken monkeys object, t value, div and operation. Okay, so this is a function. This one is div is actually uh, like what is the divisible value. So like what we have to divide, for what we have to divide, like, so for example for part 1 it is asking us to divide it by 3, divide the result in by 3. For part 2 we will say the operation is what kind of operation we are performing. So what like for part 1 it is asking us to divide, so that's why we have used div mod as a function. So to divide it by 3, t is how many times we have to perform this operation. So t is how many times we have to perform this operation, and monkey is of course a monkey array. Now what we are doing, we are iterating through every monkeys. So first we have written this loop test cases. So this is easy to understand because we have to write loop through all the iteration, right? So that's why we have written while t and decrementing t here. Now loop through every monkey in the monkeys array and get the items. So this is actually items is actually a DQ. So first we will pop the first item. So pop left, apply pop left on the monkeys item. Now increment the total because this is performing one operation. So that's why we have to increment one item for that monkey object. Now take the operation. So this one is just to calculate the result. So this one is just to perform this operation. If you see here, I am just taking OPS because we have appended the OPS class object into monkey object, right? So we are just taking that. We are just taking that. We are taking value. We are just stripping it. If it is old value, then assign the current item value into the item value. If it is not old value, then operate. So op1 value will be get appended and translated it into the int. Same for the op2. And operator, we also we have operator because we have appended operator. So this is the sign value, this is old value, this is new value, and we are calling this function to perform the operation. Now what I have told you, we have to apply this we have to divide by 3 for the part 1. Okay, so and we are using div mod. So in Python if you see, so div mod is basically some number divided by 3. So we are applying this operation for the part 1. So that's why we have used op function is div mod. Div mod is basically doing this task, and we are calculating the current value, and we are checking if current value is divisible by test. So what do we have to test? So for the part 1, for the monkey 0, if we see, it is asking us to check if it is current value is divisible by 23. So here I am checking if current value is divisible by 23 or whatever test is given. If it is true, then append that the current value to action number 0. So for action number 0, what it value it contains? It contains the for which monkey we have to throw that item. So it is asking throw that item to monkey number 0. So we will throw the current number. We will append current item which was, for example, 500 to monkey number 2 items. So that we are doing here, and if it is false, then append that item to monkey number whatever is given. So that we are performing here. Sign perform operation we I already explained you. Now here what I'm doing, I'm iterating through all the monkey objects, and just taking the top two most, sorting it by sorting it, and just taking the top two most operation performed, means top two most iteration performed by the monkeys, and multiplying it together. So as I've told you at that time, so what name nomenclature it has given, uh, yeah, total number of times is monkey inspected, means how many number of times monkey has inspected, and take the top two monkey and multiply it together. Okay, so that we are doing here, and returning it as an output. So this is for part 1, right? This one is for part 1, and this function can be used for part 2 as well. So to use this into part 2, we have to change t value, d value, and op value, because these three are variable. Only this is constant. We can reuse this one, but we cannot reuse this one after using this function, because so to reuse we have to comment out one of them. So let me just run this program first. Okay, cd day 11 python 3 main.py. So if you see, it is giving me 54253 as the output. If you check, it is 54253, which is correct, right? Which is correct. Now let's move to the part 2. Comment out this one first. Let's move to the part 2. What it is asking in the part 2? In part 2, it is asking nothing but it is asking you cannot divide the result, whatever operation you have performed, by 3. You have to find out some method which you can by which you can divide, or okay. So it is asking like to find out another way to keep your worry level manageable, means just manageable. Okay, so to do that, we have used one method which is multiplying all test level, means whatever is given for all monkey, and apply mod operation on the result. So that we are doing for the part 2, to manage to keep track of worry levels, and to make worry level manageable. So what we are doing, we are just multiplying every test cases, so every test given for each monkey, and applying mod operation on that. So let me just walk you through the part 2 also. So here if you see, we are just taking the test value of each monkey. So what we can do, and we are just applying prod function. So if I check, I can also write like this. test 4m into monkeys test into equal to m dot test. Okay, and we will paste it here, right? So that we will paste here, or we can just rename it div. So that will be paste here, and what we will do, we are passing mod function as a input. So this function will apply here current val mod, and it will perform the operation and divide it by the multiplication of all the test cases. Okay, so that it will do for the part 2. And if you check the output, let me just run this code again. If you check the output, it will take quite means a bit more time than the first one, because it is performing operation for 10,000 tests, means it is iterating through 10,000 times. So that's why it is taking a bit more time than part 1. If you compare the output, so this one we are getting 131 or whatever. This one is quite big because this is performing on 1000 iteration. For part 1 it was only 20. This one is 10,000, not 1000, 10,000. So that's it for this video. I hope you have understood the whole code. If you have any concern, please do let me know in the comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me keep motivated to make new videos. So currently I have 505 subscriber, and I'm not seeing much improvement in the subscriber count. So please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.